Welcome to the Consumer Technology Association Foundation's 2021 Pitch Competition, sponsored by AARP Innovation Labs. Today, we're excited to hear pitches from 7 companies, highlighting innovative solutions to help people stay connected and address the challenges of social isolation and loneliness. And you, as the audience, will help pick one of the winners.
All right, welcome to the CTA Foundation's 2021 Pitch Competition. I am thrilled to be here today for an exciting opportunity to hear from some amazing startups with technology that addresses social connection. My name's Steve Ewell. I'm the Executive Director of the Consumer Technology Association Foundation, and we are the charitable foundation affiliated with the trade association, the Consumer Technology Association. And we were launched nearly 9 years ago as a way to give back on behalf of the consumer technology industry. Our focus is using technology to improve the lives of older adults and people with disabilities. At the core of that mission, from the very beginning, has been addressing social isolation. Since our start, we've provided millions of dollars of support to nonprofit organizations across the country using technology to address these needs. We also run regular programs bringing together industry and advocacy groups to create better relationships and understanding that will lead to products that work well for people of all ages and abilities. Today's pitch competition is one of my favorite activities of the year. This is the 3rd time we have received the generous support of the AARP Innovation Labs to run a pitch competition, and this year's focus on connection couldn't come at a more important time. Isolation has become something all too familiar for us this year due to the pandemic, but it's not a new issue. A 2018 study by the Kaiser Family Foundation found 22% of Americans often or always felt lonely or isolated, and that was pre-pandemic. Setting some definitions here, isolation is the objective lack of social connection, where loneliness is the perception of social isolation. So 2 related yet separate conditions. And the health impact of loneliness rivals smoking, obesity, and lack of physical activity. It has been compared to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It leads to a nearly 29% increase in mortality across all causes and a 50% increase in cases of dementia. Now is an opportunity to see some technologies that will help address these needs moving forward. First, I would like to once again recognize AARP Innovation Labs for the support of this event. The team at AARP Innovation Labs serves an incredible role in the ecosystem as they help accelerate the growth of startups tackling the issues faced as we age. Please join me in welcoming Andy Miller, the Senior Vice President of AARP Innovation Labs. Welcome, Andy.
Thanks, Steve. On behalf of AARP Innovation Labs, I want to welcome you to the 2021 CTA Foundation Pitch event. We're so excited to collaborate with CTA Foundation yet again. As Steve mentioned, it's our 3rd consecutive year. And today we hope to discover some of the most disruptive startups focused on tackling social isolation. Now, some of you may know AARP does pitch events quite often, and this kicks off our pitch season. You can look out for several other announcements around pitch events that we'll be supporting and hosting over the next few months. If you're curious about those events or just want to learn more about AARP Innovation Labs, head on over to our website. It's aarpinnovationlabs.org and connect with us. So once again, I want to thank you for being here today and for your continued interest and commitment to the age tech community. Back to you, Steve.
Great. Thank you, Andy. Thrilled to be working with you and your team again this year. Now let's go over how today's program is going to work. We are excited to be working with the team from Established as they bring our pitch competition to the digital world this year. Each team will have a 3-minute pitch video. Following their pitch, they will have 2 minutes of Q&A from our expert panel of judges. Then we will have about a minute for you, the audience, to rate their pitch. That's an important step because you, the audience, will choose the People's Choice winner today. So definitely get ready to be voting for the contest. And we're just throwing up a slide that has the details. So to make your ratings, you can either download the Slido app or you can go to www.slido.com. That is www.sierra-lima-india-delta-oscar.com and enter code CTAF AARP, which is Charlie Tango Alpha Foxtrot, Alpha Alpha Romeo Papa, or just slido.com/CTAF AARP. We also put the QR code on this screen, so you can just take a picture of that with your phone camera, and that will take you right there as well. I encourage you to load the page now, so it'll be ready throughout the event. So that is going to www.slido.com/CTAF AARP, or one of the other methods I mentioned, or you see on your screen. We'll continue to share this information throughout the event. Right now, you may not see, actually the question just popped up for the very first test question that we're doing. So when you go there, you're going to be able to address our first question. But for our ratings today, essentially after every Q&A, essentially it will pop up and it will ask you to evaluate the company that just pitched on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being a high rating. Just rate that company based on how well their presentation highlighted their ability to keep people connected. So let's test this out. Rather than a rating question, we want to know a little bit more about you. So you should see a question that's popped up on the Slido page. Select the options that best describe you. On this one, you'll be able to see a tally of the answers to give you a sense of who else is in the audience. During the contest, you won't necessarily see that tally. We're saving the results to the end. You will only have about a minute to vote, and you can't go back and vote for the ones you missed. So make sure you get your rating in after every presentation. So now it is my pleasure to introduce our incredible panel of judges. First up is Faye Sahai, Managing Director of Vinaj Ventures. Welcome, Faye.
Great. Honored to be here and looking forward to all the great startups.
Great. Next, please join me in welcoming Monique Woodard, the founder and managing partner at Cake Ventures. Welcome, Monique.
Thanks for having me. I'm not allowed to start my video. So if someone could fix that, that would be great. But it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your pitches and learning all about your companies. Thank you for having me.
Great, thanks, Monique. And finally joining us is Eric Shaw, the Managing Director of TransLink Capital, and I'm proud to say a CTA Foundation board member. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you, Steve. Thrilled to be here, and also thank you to our sponsor, AARP.
Well, great. Well, thank you, Eric. Well, welcome all of you. We're going to have a great event here today, but now you've all heard enough from me. Let's get this competition going. First up is Checkmate out of Washington, D.C., being pitched by their CEO, Jimmy Telly.
My name is Jimmy Telly, and I'm the founder of Checkmate, a dating marketplace designed to facilitate genuine connections by bridging the gap between online and offline interaction using a data-driven and personalized AI approach. We make your data work for you. I'm a former international triple jump athlete with expertise in location data intelligence. I put together a diverse team with 30 plus years experience in tech. Wilson Sonsini is our legal as we position ourselves to be the Trojan horse in a saturated yet fragmented market. The industry isn't finished. There's a myriad of fake users and disingenuous behavior. Now, more than ever, people are craving a safe space to authentically connect. So we set out on a mission to alleviate loneliness across generations and enhance life's experiences through dating, both virtually and in real life. Here's what we built. Our secure selfie creates a catfish-proof community, so no more people pretending to be Brad Pitt. Our dynamic messaging uses voice and video messages so our users can really focus on getting to know their matches. Our date tab cures indecisiveness about where to go or what to do. We suggest options based on categories such as restaurants, activities, entertainment, and virtual dates. Our dating roadmap allows for an A to Z, end-to-end dating solution. Pick a person, pick a time, pick a budget, and build a date. We use data based on where you go offline, what you search online, and your mutual interest to curate a personalized date experience. Here's some early traction from our pilot. We have 10 national revenue partners, including Ticketmaster and OpenTable, which will allow us to quickly scale revenue. We look at market size from a different lens, hence coining the term dating marketplace, as we plan to expand beyond singles to couples and companions. We are monetizing the industry in a novel way, making commission off experiences booked on our platform while offering date incentives to places users frequent to increase retention. We are raising $1.75 million for marketing, operations, and product updates. So, as we know, loneliness is an epidemic. Social platforms aren't social. The internet is a scary place and becoming more and more toxic by the day. People are simply craving to live happily ever after. Big tech companies are building algorithms to maximize profit. Our algorithm maximizes happiness, and we may make a couple billion while we're at it.
All right. Welcome, Jimmy. Now over to the judges for their 2 minutes of questions. Who has the first question?
Hi, Jimmy. This is Faye. Great presentation. I was wondering, do you have any intellectual property based on your algorithms as a part of your competitive differentiation?
That's what we're working on right now. That's being pending right now.
Could you talk about how do you utilize your technology to curate that authentic community? Because I hear that coming through as a significant differentiator.
Sure. Definitely from the ability of differentiating from fake users. So the secure selfie, so you're in a safe environment, and then the audio and video message, so focusing on that as well. So that will be able to have a higher level of engagement between users.
Hi, Jimmy. I would love to hear a little bit about your plans around distribution. How are you planning to acquire users? What are you seeing as far as what are the best channels to acquire?
Sure. So we have a strategic advertising partner on that side. So we're able to get the CAC $1.90 on the Google side, and it will be around $3.50 on the iOS side. So that's from a distribution at scale standpoint, and then organic and grassroots as well has been pretty much what we've been doing so far. It's just organic.
Which organic channels are working for you the best right now?
So initially, it's just social media content across Pinterest, across all of our platforms, and blog writing as well, and Instagram has been our main organic channels, and press.
Got it.
Could you talk a little bit about the long-term value that you expect from your customers?
Sure, because our philosophy is meeting is just the beginning. So as you transition from singles to couples, even if in a relationship, you're still dating. So our goal is to always increase the LTV over time. And with more data, will be more valuable over time to our user and be able to serve our user better as we learn more about them. That's the goal, is data to learn them, AI to serve them.
Great. That is time's up. So great job. Now over to the audience. You should have the rating available in your Slido app. So go there and rate Checkmate on a scale of 1 to 10 based on how they are creating connections. With 10 being a high and 1 being a low. And as a reminder, that is at www.slido.com/CTAF-AARP. And you can go there and make your ratings. This it was interesting because it reminds me of one of our grants that we've been doing with the CTA Foundation, where essentially we're supporting a group called Bridging Apps, which is a program of Easter Seals of Greater Houston, and essentially allows people to identify the types of apps that can serve their needs across all ages and abilities. And it's really incredible to see the types of apps that are out there that can help people. So excited to have Checkmate in and presenting with us here today. All right, I think we are closing in on the end of the minute there. All right, so next up is Dance for Healing out of Sunnyvale, California, being pitched by their founder and CEO, Amy Lee.
Hi, my name is Amy Lee. I'm founder of Dance for Healing. Did you know creative arts therapy improves quality of life for cancer patients by 50%? How do I know that? Because music and dance help me recover from stage 4 cancer and inspire me to launch Dance for Healing. We are a telehealth platform that matches buddies for healthy habit building. Many patients like me and elders like my mom are often stuck at home, isolated and lonely. Dancing increases social connections and happiness, prevents falling, reducing the risk of dementia and cardiovascular death. We started with Stanford Cancer Support Program, achieved a Net Promoter Score of 91. Most patients reported 80 to 100% reduction in anxiety and depression.
It was just a great class for me. I tell everybody, I wasn't sure about when you're on the computer. Virtual. I like that now.
Now we're expanding our research into cardiovascular health. Our NSF grant project pitch is approved. We are also developing an intergenerational program guided by Dr. Eileen Seren.
Trauma from COVID and lockdown is in the body. Creative arts therapies develop stability, balance, flexibility, and spontaneity, building physical and emotional resilience.
There are lots of exercise programs out there, but sticking to them is extremely difficult. Our competitor, Silver Sneakers, reached $122 million in annual revenue. We will capitalize where they fall short by combining pattern pending AI with behavior design. Our research-backed platform matches you to the most compatible buddies, creating bonding experiences. In providing personalized recommendation tailored to your needs safely, we are also combining two of the best stress management tools, music and exercise. US telehealth is projected to reach $106 billion by 2023. How do we make money? We offer a monthly subscription for healthy users to support aging parents. We will scale through licensing and insurance reimbursement. The opportunity is 58,000 elder communities in the US. We conducted 100 interviews. 90% loves our program. We project to reach 1,200 elder centers by 2025. Partnering with national chains and PACE programs. Our team has a diverse background in AI, behavior design, Alzheimer's research, and dance. We also have advisors from Stanford and Harvard. Join our movement. Let's dance our heart out to heal 100 million lives.
All right, welcome, Amy. Okay, judges, it's over to you. Who's got the first question?
Sure. Hi, Amy. Thanks for the presentation. Why did you decide to start with dance as opposed to Tai Chi or Pilates or some other low impact exercise? And do you have any thoughts around integrating some of those other exercise modalities into the platform?
Yeah, so I decided to start with dance. One is my personal experience. The other one, I was shocked by the data that, dancing reduced risk of dementia by 76%, cardiovascular death by 46%. And these are like 20-year study with large patients. According to the APA, there's a lot of meditation and yoga apps out there. And for stress preference, there's only account for 12%, and music was 47%, and exercise was 46%. So really was driven by the research and the data. We do have a 9Muses Live technology brand that's secure, is kind of prepared for licensing in the longer term. So we are committed to offering the whole portfolio of creative arts in the longer term. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit, Amy, a little bit about the traction? How many people have used your app and revenue and scaling?
Yeah, so our first program in Stanford is in 91 patients. As you guys know, clinical setting usually is smaller. And then we first time opened it up to during COVID to the public. And within a couple of weeks, we have I think 360 people signed up. And right now we are officially launching to the public by setting up an instructor program to bring healthcare expert from APA COVID-19 task force. I'm working with a lot of psychologists, setting up training to instructors to empower them able to scale. Yeah. Sorry.
All right. We are at our time limit for the questions. Thank you again, judges, and thank you so much, Amy, for your presentation. So now, audience, you know what to do. Go to your Slido screen, and you should be able to rate Dance for Healing on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being a high vote, 1 being a low vote. Make sure you're getting these votes in after every single one of these panels. They close after the minute is up. So we need to make sure we get your votes in right away. So definitely we're off to a great start here today. And I think there's some exciting work to be done with the use of technology, with music, with movement. That's something that we've certainly done a lot with the CTA Foundation. We've invested in some nonprofits using music for Alzheimer's programs like the Philemon M. D'Agostino Greenberg School, which is quite a mouthful, but does amazing work with blind and low vision people, a really incredible school there. So some great work going on using technology. So get your ratings in and make sure you hit submit on your vote for Dance for Healing. And that is our minute. So now we have our app to find a date. Then we've gone dancing. It's been quite a night, but I think we need to play some games too. So next up, we're joined by Game Board out of Boulder, Colorado, being pitched by CEO and co-founder Shail Mehta.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shail Mehta. I'm the CEO and co-founder of The Last Game Board, and I'm here to tell you how you can take your love of board games, something that we've all grown up playing or play today, and use it to re-engage, connect, and feel like you're a part of a community all over again. Gaming today doesn't have to be completely virtual. It doesn't have to exist in a completely virtual plane. There's a way for us to bring analog and digital together again, making it seamless and easy to play the games that you love with the people that you love. Game Board is a 16 by 16 inch, beautifully crafted square device that's lightweight, it's thin, it's portable. There's Wi-Fi and Bluetooth inside of it. And when you turn it on, it's like Netflix. You can pick any game that you want to play and the board will become it. You can even use real pieces. So think you can play chess with someone across the world, with your family, with your friends, when you're not even in the same room. You can hear them, talk to them, and feel like you're in the same room, doing something that we all can understand is collaborative and bringing people together again. So how do we do this? Game Board is built on a patented technology called the Sense Screen. It allows you to use any real objects, right? A chess set, Monopoly pieces, anything that you have at home, you can use on the surface of the game. The game detects the object and you can start playing your game. You don't have to use real pieces. You can just play digitally as well. The beauty in what Game Board does is the platform, right? When you first turn on the Game Board, this experience of finding people to play with, playing games that you love, that you grew up playing with, and reconnecting with generations again over gaming. Game Board, first and foremost, is about meaningful connections through gaming. I think gaming for a very long time has given people the ability to feel isolated and completely out of their realm when it comes to playing games like Xbox and Halo. How do you use technology to foster meaningful connections? That is what Game Board does. We've partnered with some of the biggest IP and game publishers on the planet to bring perfectly curated content and a marketplace that's accessible for all. We are an elite technical team, and we come from Xbox, Lego, Hasbro, Disney to bring you this product. We've scaled not only hardware, but software products in the past. And some of our investors are really well-known entities like Riot Games and SOSV to bring you this beautiful product called Game Board. We've been talked about as the Kindle meets Peloton for gaming. And I think that little tagline has definitely stuck with us. This is about how can you bring technology in a meaningful way to connect again. We can grow our library to continue scaling, adapt for family game nights, reinventing what it means to play together again. That is the power of Game Board. Thank you.
All right, great job. Well, welcome, Shale, and judges. It is over to you.
So my family used to have game nights with other families. We've tried to find ways to do it during the pandemic to varying degrees of success. Can you talk a little bit about how much progress and how difficult it is to get content and game content, strategic board content onto your platform?
So what we've done is we don't have our own gaming engine. We use any digital game that's built on Unity, Unreal, and we're an Android-based platform. Our SDK and simulator allows for developers to kind of plug and play and build in our 3D environment. They can take advantage of, object detection, hover touch, anything that our SDK offers, and they simply integrate their existing digital content and adapt it to Game Board. So we're very methodical. We're going after hobby gamers right now, but because of our backend and SDK, it's easy to scale and incorporate existing digital content that exists everywhere today.
Talk a little bit about your business model and traction.
Sure. So we are a subscription-based platform. Game Board is $600 for a one-time purchase, and then you get $15 is a subscription that you play for all you can eat, all you can play. Inviting other people to play when they don't have a Game Board, like Eric was talking about, when you're not together. That's free right now on Game Board. We haven't monetized it yet, but eventually we will. Right now, it's more eyes on Game Board, the better. And we have a 7,000 person wait list. Sorry, I just forgot to talk about my traction.
Very cool product. Can you tell me a little bit about, you mentioned that everything is free to play for a $15 per month subscription. So are all of those games freemium games or all free to play? Or tell me a little bit about sort of the game mix that you have and then how you anticipate that mix evolving over time.
Sure. So right now it's all AAA games to, chess, poker, backgammon, everything is free. Once we get a lot more data on who's playing and how they're playing, we can adapt that family packs and RPG nights, and we can evolve the content in the marketplace, which I think is the beauty of a platform.
All right, we are at time. So great job to Game Board. I can tell this is going to be a close competition, and we're not even halfway there yet. So audience, make sure you get your scores in. Details are on the screen for how to log your votes. Make sure you vote after every single presentation, because you don't get a chance to go back and change scores for the ones you missed. So get your votes in, and you will help us choose the People's Choice Award winner today. I think it's so important to, as we're talking about connections here, to really focus in and look at the role that recreation can play with healthy aging, because whenever we're having conversations about age, it automatically kind of goes to a conversation about health, and that's a huge part of this market. But I think there's a whole lot more versus just the health and wellness side of it. So I'm excited to see the types of technologies that are coming out that, as Eric had shared earlier, can allow some of those family game nights to go forward and be able to play with people around the world. So it's really exciting to see some of the types of technologies that are being used to create connections and bring people together. One of the big things we've been focused on is supporting some of our nonprofits as they bring education to older adults, creating things like a virtual senior academy with the Jewish Healthcare Foundation, and being able to create connections for people from all over the US. So excited to see some of this work continue to move forward. All right, we are at our minute for game board voting. So that means it's time to move on to our next pitcher. As we hit the halfway point here, we're joined by Human AI out of San Diego, California, with their product Personal AI, being pitched by co-founder and head of design, Christy Kaiser, and founder and CEO, Suman Kanuganti.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christy Kaiser. I am the co-founder of Human AI Labs, and I am here to talk to you today about our product called Personal AI. So humans forget. It's part of what makes us humans, and remembering is core to who we are. Our philosophy is you don't solve the human, you solve the problem. And we have developed tools in our daily life to help us remember more and forget less. Some of these tools include writing notes, setting reminders, and taking photographs. We all know per the Ebbinghaus curve, we forget about 80% of the information we process within 3 days. So we want to flip this by helping humans remember about 80%. And we do this by creating a technological version of your memories called a memory stack. We capture memories as you speak, as you write, and as you live. And where does the personal AI come in? All for recall. So we build an AI that is trained entirely on top of your own individual memory blocks, so it's authentic to you. And your AI is like a close friend who helps you recall pertinent information and relevant memories when you need them most. Social isolation and loneliness is associated with about a 50% increased risk of dementia, which further strengthens the need for our product in the world we live in today. Our users are currently using their AIs to fulfill the following needs: to create a legacy for their kids to have someday, to help them remember what is important to them when they may no longer be able to help their future generations understand them better, and to have a partner for their thoughts. To make these dreams come true, we brought together a diverse group of people. So I live to simplify user experience for hard problems, and I've done it in the past at my previous company, Ira, for the blind and low vision community. I'm here to do it again for memory recall, along with our CEO, Suman, who also previously led Ira before starting Human AI Labs. Sharon built many AI startups before and leads our technology department. And then Mark brings in the neuroscience and language that our company needs to succeed. So we are a B2C company. We're looking to monetize with a subscription model. Currently, we're experimenting our different price points and working on a commercialization strategy. We have a private beta open, and we have given access to our product to over 1,000 people, and they're testing the product and stacking their lives. So our competitors reside in 2 different markets. Storyworth, in my mind, are tools for memory augmentation, but lack any AI technology. And then Replica and AI Foundation both use AI. However, Replica uses generic AI models. And then AI Foundation lacks privacy controls for their users, and their price point is over $1 million. So memories, while they're private, are more valuable when they're useful for you and the people around you. Our plan is to scale by leveraging the inherent network effect that we have built into the product already. And we are passionate about pushing beyond the bounds of conventional thinking and using the technology to solve those hard human problems. So this year, for the first time ever, people will experience a technology going beyond search that is recalling their memories with their own personal AI.
All right, great job. Welcome, Christy and Suman. Judges, over to you.
I'm wondering too, as far as AI, natural language processing with potential languages and also different objects, how are you training your models?
Right now, we are supporting English as the language on our platform, and we train the models. So each individual user, it's trained off of their own data. So we create these unique user pods. So it's highly personalized and unique to each individual person.
And how do you plan to present the results of that algorithm to the user?
Yeah, great question. So right now, users have access to what we call a memory stack. So we create individual memory blocks that shows what the user said in their conversation, along with other AI models that predicts emotions, tag words, things like that, so they can browse their stack. But our main product is focused on memory recall. So it's a simple user interface where you can type in, I spoke to Suman last week about this topic, and you can see what was said, who was there in the conversation, and get that additional context that a lot of people forget over time as their memories fade.
Love the presentation. Can you tell me a little bit about how you're thinking about privacy long term? Obviously, you're in beta right now, so it's a very tight control group. But as you sort of scale and as the company evolves, how do you think about the privacy concerns?
Yeah, privacy is one of our top priorities as a brand. We are implementing secure technology called blockchain. So each user will have an individual key. So only they will have access to their data. So the company won't have access to it. And we're really strong. Our opinion is users are not the product. So the memories are highly personal and owned by our users.
And how is the user inputting the data? Is it through camera, voice? What kind of input mechanisms?
I'll answer really quickly, but through voice and text right now. So we ambiently capture conversations throughout the day, and they can also type in to create memory blocks by text.
All right, time is up. Great job for Human AI. So now, audience, it's your turn. Go and rate Human AI based on scale of 1 to 10 for how they are creating connections. Make sure you get that vote in there. It's exciting to see the types of technologies that are out there. I assume one of these days soon I'll be leaving my basement and have to go out and interact with people in the world again, and being able to remember the engagements and ways of things that we've done in the past. I can see an incredible use for some of that, especially as I go to all these conferences and things again. So, which I'm definitely looking forward to. It's interesting to see the types of technologies that can address AI and ways that can be used to create connections. I mentioned earlier some of the work that we've done with various Alzheimer's programs. So I can't wait to see some of these emerging technologies and see which ways they can impact this area. It's something we've been doing some work with the AARP Foundation, with Front Porch, which is another fairly large senior community, mostly on the West Coast, using things like voice assistants and others to help older adults in their daily lives. So very excited to see the types of technologies that can be applied in this space. So, all right, we are just about at time for voting on Human AI. So get your votes in, and that is it. All right, so now we're just a little over halfway through our 7 companies competing today. We've heard some incredible pitches, and we have more to come. But let's take a really quick pause as we recognize why it is so important to be highlighting the work that these companies do.
The Consumer Technology Association Foundation works to connect seniors and people with disabilities with technologies that can enhance their lives. But our impact goes beyond technology. We give people freedom, independence, purpose, and most importantly, vital connections. Connection is critical for health. Studies have compared the health impacts of loneliness to that of obesity, smoking, and inactivity. During this past year, the COVID-19 pandemic has not only inflicted physical complications on seniors and people with disabilities, it has resulted in negative mental health outcomes due to mandated isolation and self-imposed quarantine. This year, For our annual pitch competition, CTA Foundation and AARP Innovation Labs are excited to highlight innovative technologies that help people stay connected. As we look forward to life after the pandemic, we hope that these solutions will continue to help us address the challenges of loneliness and social isolation.
All right. Well, we're in the back half now. Competition is heating up. Really excited to see these last few companies here today. Next to pitch is Immersive Cure out of Medina, Ohio, being pitched by CEO Jessica Benson.
Hi, I'd like to introduce you to the person whose journey inspires me every single day. This is Jane Knupp, my mom. When my mom was 48, she suffered a stroke, which left her permanently disabled. For the next 2 decades, visiting her in a nursing home, I witnessed firsthand the isolating effects of living in long-term care facility. I am Jessica Benson, CEO and founder of Immersive Cure. In 2015, I saw the potential of experiential virtual reality, and it became my mission to bring this new technology to the palliative care community. Immersive Cure created a portable, self-contained VR kit, making it simple for facilities to adopt this technology. Our proprietary software allows individuals to view it individually or as a group. There's several competitors in the market right now who are using non-pharmacological modalities for pain, anxiety, and stress. But what sets us apart is our self-contained platform. It allows rural communities to be able to have access to this technology. We're content creators, and we also have disposable infection control products. Our customers found that the veteran population were the ones who were the most receptive to trying this new technology. So we've identified the veteran community as our beachhead market. We're going to start with the 5,000 facilities participating in the We Honor Veteran program, move out to the 65,000 accredited palliative care facilities, and as VR reaches the market adoption, we'll become the delivery platform for any VR company who wants to deliver their content. The negative effects of social isolation are well documented. And to compound that, some veterans are internally isolating. So we're offering them a safe place to experience visiting the War Memorial with a trained staff member, to heal and share with other veterans, and then share with their friends and family, ultimately building a community of support. Here they are, the team that makes happy happen. Together we have the technical knowledge, the storytelling ability, and 10 years of expertise, and we are poised to lead the multisensory revolution in palliative care. We have a proven concept and 5 paying customers that generated $25,000 in sales. We're in discussions right now for pilots with AARP, Lewis Stokes VA Pain Clinic, and OVR. But my superpower is building community and a future pipeline. We've convened a roundtable of 9 national organizations, and we're gathering their input on our newest guided imagery and veteran-centric content. By building a community with palliative care's ecosystem, we're laying the foundation for a validated buy-in of our product, thus creating an instant pipeline and marketing campaign for our go-to-market strategy. To support this growth, we are gearing up for our seed round to build out our platform and enable us to scale. I want to thank you for your time, and I hope to hear from you soon.
All right. Welcome, Jessica. Judges, over to you for your questions.
Hi, Jessica. Tell me more about your initial customer profile, the veteran customer, and what about that group did you identify as really unique in starting with them as the beachhead? And what will you kind of port over to the next customer profile as you grow?
Sure. So our veterans are brave. And so they're basically the first ones that our customers identified that would try this technology in our long-term care and hospice facilities. So we found that they were the ones that were having the most profound reaction to this as well. So that's what helped us to find where we're going to focus to build more content. We're building content for the Vietnam and Korean War memorials to have them visit there, because those are the people that are entering those facilities. And in addition to that, we're building guided imagery that is fine for everyone who's in long-term care. In our content, we also have guided imagery, we have relaxation. So we have something for everybody already. Just the additional content we're building is for veterans in 2021.
Could you talk a little bit about how you evaluate the effectiveness of your solution and the platform?
Absolutely. We actually are talking to AARP to start a pilot to find out what the effects are on 50 and over, and see if it does help them become more compliant, if it brings their blood pressure down, and how are they affected by this. And the other thing is on our veterans, how does this help them communicate with their families? How does this help them share their story, lay their burden down, and leave it at the wall? Because they do carry an awful lot with them and that they haven't talked about yet. And we found that this actually, it opens something up for them to be able to talk about it.
And then as far as your pricing model, it's a B2B?
It is, and we do a one-time cost for the hardware, and then we do a monthly charge. We have a base model that's $250 a month that has certain 6 pieces of content. Then we have our platinum, which will add scent to our experiences. So if you're walking in the woods, it'll get a puff of pine. We're working with OVR. And so really excited to start trialing that. And that'll be starting in like 3 months, I think, in Vermont.
All right, we need to jump in. Time is up. So thank you, judges, for your insight, and thank you, Jessica. So audience, make sure you go and vote for Immersive Cure through the Slido site. Details are on your screen right now at slido.com/CTAF-AARP. I'm excited to see a company working with the veteran community. That's an area that we've started to do more of with the CTA Foundation. Recently, we've been working with a group called Code of Support, which runs a website called Patriot Link, which helps connect both service members, veterans, caregivers, others with the types of services that they're eligible with. And I know that is a major challenge, particularly as we see members retire out of service and move on to their private sector careers, but also later in life, the opportunity to get the services for both the members that serve, but also their families. So with that, we are at time for voting for Immersive Cure. Time's flying by. We're now up to our penultimate pitch. Next up is Neighbor Force out of Richmond, Virginia, being pitched by founder and CEO Paige Wilson.
You all know the stats. The number of people over 80 is tripling in the next 3 decades. And of course, they all want to age in their homes, stay independent, and continuing living full lives. But here's the thing. Families, typically that first line of support, are getting smaller, busier, and more dispersed. Hi, I'm Paige Wilson, founder of Neighbor Force. I experienced this firsthand. 8 years ago, my 78-year-old mother broke her hip, and that was the beginning of her needing lots of little things to keep her independent, connected, and continuing to live a life filled with joy. I wanted to do it all for her, but I had a demanding career and was raising a teenage daughter. I found there was a total lack of resources in that space between full independence and medical care. She didn't need an aide or a nurse yet. What we needed was another me. That's where Neighbor Force comes in. Our platform connects older adults and their families to a network of community members called Neighbors for on-demand assistance. We're bridging that gap at the very front end of the care continuum. We provide that other me. Our neighbors are mostly empty nesters and retirees who are seeking purpose and connection in their own lives. They're perfect to step in as that backup son or daughter. They help with all those same things we do for our parents, getting them to the beauty parlor, reprogramming their remote, keeping them engaged. Nothing medical. No one questions the size of the market. Just looking at our home market, Richmond, Virginia, the opportunity is over 100 million, and that's just based on 10% of seniors seeking 4 hours of help a week. Our tech makes it simple for families to get the help they need and simple for neighbors to offer assistance. Our scheduling algorithm automates the matching, enabling us to scale. We're a marketplace. We take the rate between what we charge clients and what we pay neighbors. 75% of our revenue comes from monthly recurring plans. We've got multiple channels for client acquisition, both direct to consumer and B2B. We've got strong traction and product market fit. We've delivered 14,000 hours. Our run rate is 300K and growing, and our rebook rate is over 95%. It's very sticky business. We're truly in a white space and highly differentiated. Our only direct competition is Papa. COVID certainly had an impact in the short run, but there's no doubt it's accelerating our business. Client signups nearly doubled this month alone. Even more people want to age in place, and the whole world now understands the toll of isolation. We have a clear path to scale. We know the unit economics for each neighborhood and how to roll them out. Most of my career has been in senior finance roles. Coming from outside of healthcare is what allowed me to jump the curve, envision the solution. The age wave is just beginning. The caregiver crisis is growing, and the impact of loneliness is escalating. We're fostering real connections that are improving outcomes and enhancing lives. We are, after all, inspired by joy.
All right, welcome, Paige. Judges, you're up.
Paige, that was a great presentation. How do you vet your neighbors from a criminal background, safety?
Yeah, obviously trust is very, very important here. We're entrusting our most precious family members. So they go through an extensive vetting process, which includes obviously background check, the full 50 state, and we pull their driving records as well.
How do you think about the next 10 neighborhoods that you want to go to, those towns? What's the profile that's that you're looking for?
Yeah, we look at a lot of different metrics as we're looking at growth. Right now, we're trying to test a number of different things. So globally, we're looking at dependency ratios and density. It's unfortunately doesn't work well in a rural situation yet. Maybe those communities can support themselves. We look at all kinds of pieces of that, but we're also in the short run testing. We just moved outside of Virginia, so we're testing another state. We need to test north of the Mason-Dixon line. We're going to Maryland next because people think this is a Southern hospitality play. And then we'll be looking at overlapping markets and larger markets where, for instance, in Atlanta might be 4 neighborhoods as opposed to 1 neighborhood like a Richmond or Raleigh.
Hi, Paige.
Hey, buddy.
Tell me a little bit about the performance between the monthly packages versus the non-recurring packages. Which one you see the most growth in right now, and what the future holds for optimizing that?
Yeah, so surprisingly, the idea is you can use this intermittently like Uber, and we have plenty of people that do that, but 75% of our revenue actually comes from people signing up for monthly plans and recurring visits. And we have noticed a big jump in that post-COVID because more people are trying to get that support to stay in their home.
All right, we are at time. So thank you, Paige, and thank you, judges. Audience, it's your turn to shine. So go rate NeighborForce on their ability to create connections. Once again, log into the Slido page and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 for the connections that they're creating. I think it's really important to build those communities, build that trust with people around you, provide those kinds of services. One of the organizations we've been working with is ITN America, which works on ride sharing in more rural communities for seniors and people with vision disabilities. And I think there's so much incredible work that can go on in this space by bringing people together, bringing together some volunteers as well as experts to serve the needs of people in our community. We're excited to see other programs that are working on things like time banking and care banking and things along those lines with another grant of ours called Care Wheels. So really excited to see the work going on in this space. And that is time. So, all right. And now we're already on to our final pitch of the day. So up next is QBuddy out of Ithaca, New York, being pitched by co-founders Jordan Goldsweig and Sam Brickman.
Hi everyone, I'm Jordan, and I'm one of the co-founders of QBuddy, a platform to help people over 50 feel less lonely and socially isolated. In only a couple months of working on this, we've been able to accumulate users in over 100 countries and have also been featured in a variety of news sources like Time Magazine, Live with Kelly and Ryan, CBS This Morning, and in the Washington Post. So meet Paula. Paula is a real QBuddy user. She's 55 years old and lives alone. She's constantly finding herself extremely lonely and feels that there are no in-person outlets for her to meet people. Additionally, all the technology solutions out there are optimized for younger people, so she feels completely forgotten about. And Paula's not alone. In fact, 1/3 of people over 45 feel lonely or socially isolated. So that's why we built QBuddy. QBuddy is a platform that helps people over 50 feel less lonely and socially isolated by matching and introducing them to one another and hosting virtual events. So the way it actually works is users will enter some profile information about themselves, like their age, gender, location, and what they're looking for in a buddy. Then we run a matching algorithm and group and introduce the optimal pairings. From then, the pairs can connect and get to know each other through our messaging platform on the website, as well as by attending virtual events where groups of up to 50 people all hop on a video chat based on a variety of topics, including recently retired chats, weekly book clubs, and even speed friend-finding events. Although all these events are based on a different activity, they're really centered around building lasting connections, and that's really the main goal of QBuddy, which is why we're so happy that we've been able to make over 110,000 matches in over 100 countries across the world. Additionally, although we only allocate 40 minutes for each of our virtual get-togethers, 85% of people spend longer on them, some up to 4.5 hours per event. Our users have told us over and over again that their buddy is the reason they get out of bed in the morning, and that because of QBuddy, they felt the least lonely they've felt in years. So far, we spent $0 on marketing because we were able to get on the news and build up our SEO to be the first search result on Google. Additionally, we partner with community groups and other organizations so that they can get their users on QBuddy as well. We really have two main revenue streams at the moment. We charge a monthly subscription fee so that users can have full access to the platform and all the different virtual events. Additionally, multiple brands have approached us about forming partnerships so that they can better reach this age group and demographic. So the team consists of myself and Sam. We're both recently graduated computer science students, and we've collaborated on a variety of startups and projects in the past. One of our startups is currently being used at 14 different universities across the country, and the other one was recently acquired. Overall, we've been able to do all of this while full-time computer science students with no resources and no money at all, so we're really excited with what we've been able to achieve and really excited to see what's going to happen going forward. Our next steps are really to accelerate product development and continue to scale our user base, and those are our main goals going forward. Thank you so much for listening, and we look forward to any questions that you have. Thank you.
All right, great job. Now welcome Jordan and Sam.
Hi, how's it going? I'm Sam. I'm going to be answering the questions.
Good to meet you. As we're coming out of like the most active part of the pandemic, how do you think QBuddy might evolve, and how do you think about maintaining that level of use and engagement?
Yeah, so although we originally started as a pandemic project, we saw that like 80% of the people who signed up were over the age of 50. And from speaking with these users and just from research, we know that their social isolation and loneliness has existed long before and will continue to exist long after. And we're not seeing any significant churn, and our growth rate continues to accelerate even as things start to open up more and the pandemic winds down. So we think people are continuing to benefit and use the platform.
You talked about churn. What is your current churn and revenue?
So for our initial proof of concept, we didn't charge for the virtual events. We only did one pilot week of charging for the events in which we made $5,000 in revenue. And our churn is less than 3% per month.
Could you talk a little bit about your plans for the product going forward? What do you want to develop?
Yeah, so our next steps is to really build interactive virtual events directly on the website. So for our proof of concept, we're doing content directly on Zoom, but we want to bring the video chat directly onto our platform and have guided activities that they can do in real time.
Where are you seeing sort of the most use within the age bands? So a person who's like 50 to 55 has different social needs than someone who's, and I would say are probably slightly less socially isolated than someone who's 65 plus, but maybe they are, we can talk about like less apt to use something like this. So what are you seeing when you take a look at the cohorts, the age cohorts?
So the most significant cohort by far is women between the ages of like 50 and 65. And what's actually less important than the age itself is the stage of life. So it's really people who are maybe recently retired or their kids just moved out to go to college, recently got divorced. That's the main target demographic rather than their specific age.
All right, we are at time. So great job, Q-Buddy. And thank you, judges. All right, audience, this is it. Your final rating of the day. Make sure you go in and rate Q-Buddy on their ability to create connections. I could just tell we're going to have a tight competition here. I can't wait to see what the results are of the People's Choice, as well as obviously seeing the results of the judges. I can see the judges are getting pulled off the stage now so that they can go into the back room and help to start to deliberate and choose a winner for today. But we're really excited to see all the pitches that we've been able to get throughout the day here today. It's really interesting to see the types of technologies that are creating connections like this. We do a lot of work around organizations like Older Adults Technology Services with their Senior Planet that creates classes from everything on how to get online to how to start a business as an older adult, working with groups like South Florida Institute on Aging or Cyber Seniors, creating intergenerational programs. And in particular, we've been doing a lot of work reaching Spanish language communities as well. So there's a lot of great work going on in this space. And with that, we are at time for the final vote. So let's hear it for all of the startups. It's not easy to get on stage, even a virtual one. There we go. There we go. So this is great. It's, as I was saying, it's really not easy for them to get on stage, even a virtual one, and share the passion that they have for their company with the world. So really excited to see all that they're doing. Judges are going back to the back room to evaluate today's pitches, and we, in the meantime, have a very special program. The companies today have all highlighted the opportunities for technology to address connections. As I shared in the intro, this is a critical issue for us at the Consumer Technology Association Foundation. We have been looking for a way to continue to push forward this issue and recognize the great work and innovations that are happening. We have a big announcement, but to build to that announcement, I had a chance to talk with our founding chair, John Shalom, to reflect on the past and how that will lead to where we're going next. After hearing from all of these great entrepreneurs creating connections, I'm thrilled to be joined by another incredible entrepreneur, John Shalom. Since founding AudioVox, now Vox International in 1960, John has built an incredible company that expanded to control other legendary brands like Klipsch, RCA, and many more. He's a Consumer Technology Hall of Fame inductee and someone who continues to be a leader in our industry through his involvement with many CTA committees. And for me, I'm thrilled to have him as the founding chair of the CTA Foundation. With that, welcome, John. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you for that fabulous introduction.
Well, you've done so much for both the industry and us as a foundation, so I'm really thrilled to be joining with you today, especially as we're having an opportunity to look at some of the up and coming startup companies that are looking at addressing this really important issue of social isolation. But before we get to that, the CTA Foundation launched nearly 9 years ago, and you and the initial board of trustees were laying the groundwork well before that. Can you share a little bit about why it was so important to work with CTA to create this foundation?
Well, clearly, there's a serious need for CTA to play a role in this area. And Gary Shapiro back in 2012 asked me to help him and start and establish the foundation, which I did with the help of several new members. And the big question at the time was to establish the priorities and the goals for this foundation. And many of the members were advocating we should have scholarships for students to encourage them to study different aspects of technology about health, hearing, and things like that. But my real feeling about that was that the major need was to support seniors who suffer from isolation, and the biggest complaint there is loneliness and not having anything to share with other people, being isolated, shut-ins, things like that. And I was greatly influenced in that decision by both my mother and my mother-in-law, who lived to an old age, but in the last years of their life were isolated, were shut-ins, and experienced severe loneliness and social isolation. So it became, my initiative was to launch the direction of the new foundation to help seniors through that with the aid of electronic devices and through our industry. And one of the most successful situations was when we signed up initially with a program that provided for TV to be installed in the homes of some seniors, interactive TV, where every morning they would turn on their TV and would be welcomed by a host who would say, "How are you today, Jane? And Billy, did you take your pills?" And this sort of thing. I interviewed some of these people at subsequent times, and they were all so grateful for what the CTA program brought to them. It was a self-help program combined with CTA, and that opened doors for them to the internet to communicate with other people and gave them something to look forward and to live for instead of being shut in and not talking to anyone. And that was based on the experience, as I said before. My mother-in-law was living in Florida, got a hold, or we gave her a system that at the time was called Web TV. It was a primitive system, but it provided for a keyboard, and you could communicate with the keyboard on your TV set. And she was up all night sending messages to all the kids and grandkids, and she loved this. And it was wonderful for her to have this outlet to the internet, to reach out to the family, to reach out to people, and to be part of an active community. And that was really influenced me dramatically. At the same experience with my mother, who was very lonely, and it's very tough when you get old. Your children are busy with their own lives. They don't want to bother really with you. They call up once in a while. But nobody really takes a serious interest in seniors. And I think some of the initiatives at the foundation to create programs to help seniors navigate the web, to learn how to operate a computer, this is vital and create a tremendous need for the organization. So I'm happy that we recognize that and we're able to establish that as a goal and a priority for our foundation.
Well, that is really incredible. And yes, it's absolutely an area that is often overlooked. Only about less than 2% of philanthropic dollars actually go towards aging related issues. So it's an area that we've been able to have an incredible impact on in a fairly short amount of time since we launched the foundation. You mentioned the work that we did with self-help with their virtual senior center as far as reaching homebound seniors. Then we later did work with the Jewish Healthcare Foundation to create kind of a 2.0 version of that program to continue to innovate and reach more people in need. But we've also done work with groups like OATS, the various White House organizations.
OATS has been tremendous, really.
Absolutely. The various White House organizations in New York and San Francisco and elsewhere, South Florida Institute on Aging. are there of the programs that we've been supporting, are there things that have jumped out to you beyond self-help for the importance of the work we've been able to do?
Yeah, particularly the work done with training seniors to use computers, the OACH programs, and then different programs to help people with disabilities which afflict the older population, like hearing disabilities and vision disabilities, and how to overcome these things, how to work with people to improve their lifestyle. So that, I think, has been really critical work for CTA, for the foundation. And it's given CTA a good reputation for being an active partner in helping people in many areas. We've gained good recognition as a result of these programs, and the monies that have been contributed by CTA have been dramatically helpful in creating a situation. For that, we're grateful, and we thank CTA board members for approving the programs for this.
Absolutely. Yeah, CTA has been critical in our support, although we also continue to get support from individuals and companies like yourself and Box. So we greatly appreciate that support as well. It allows us to reach so many more people in need as we continue to look at ways we can grow the foundation. And we're really still scratching the surface as far as the number of people around the country that we can serve. So I'm excited to see where we can be going from here.
Well, Steve, I can tell you on my behalf and as well on behalf of Box that we're proud to be not only involved in the foundation, helping to found it, but as well in supporting it financially and otherwise. It's a wonderful organization which is much needed in today's society. There are so many uncertainties in today's world. Young people who need guidance, a lot of mental health problems, serious problems that need to be addressed. So we're glad to be able to contribute in a small way to help reach and to improve these situations.
Well, you've got a great finger on the pulse of technology these days, both with what you're doing with Vox, but also through your engagement with CTA and many other members. I know you're just a mentor to so many people around the CTA world. You mentioned earlier some of the technologies that you've seen used, from the very early days of things like web TV to some of the things we've been able to support through the virtual senior centers, virtual senior academies, programs like that. What are some of the technologies that you see emerging as a way to really improve lives in this population?
Well, a lot of that technology is here now today, but I think the big need is to train people, particularly seniors, in how to access and benefit from these technologies. Remember, it's very tough for a lot of older people to work a computer. We've seen examples of that with the vaccination programs, where seniors were trying to get on to make an appointment and were frustrated, and after a while gave up because they didn't understand that the programs worked. And so there's a major need to continue educating seniors, especially in the area of internet and of communication through computers. I think it's critical.
Absolutely. And I think there's going to be more opportunities for us to do that in this coming year, especially, as you mentioned, with some of the challenges around vaccine distribution and other areas like that, where our technologies can really help connect people and get them the services that they need and are able to utilize. And with that, that's why I'm just thrilled to be able to announce on behalf of the CTA Foundation that we are creating a new award focused on this issue of social connection, which is so important to you. We're creating the John and Jane Shalom Award, which will recognize a person, organization, or company doing amazing work to address social isolation, while also recognizing the work that you and Jane have done. You've meant so much to us in the industry, and especially for us at CTA, but the work you've done to address these really important issues through the creation of the CTA Foundation and so much more. So we really look forward to, we're announcing the award here today. We will open up the call for nominations this summer and encourage people to keep an eye on our website at ctafoundation.tech or our Twitter at CTA Foundation for once those calls go out. and we're going to have an amazing honoree, I think, for our first winner this year. So, John, thank you so much for all you do for the industry and the CTA Foundation.
Thank you so much, Steve, and I'm deeply, both Jane and I, deeply honored to receive this recognition from CTA and hope we can live up to the high standards that you, Steve, have created in running the CTA Foundation. Thank you.
Well, I am just following your lead, John, and that has always put me in a good place. So thank you again for joining us here today, and really thrilled to be announcing this award with you.
Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you.
All right, welcome back, and thank you again to John for sitting down for that conversation. And I'm thrilled to announce the John and Jane Shalom Award here today. Keep an eye on our website, ctafoundation.tech, or Twitter @CTA Foundation, for when the call for nominations opens this summer. It's going to be an incredible opportunity to recognize some incredible innovators or service providers that are doing work to help older adults address social connection. Our judges are rejoining us on stage here today, so welcome back. I don't envy you for having to choose between today's entries. And these were just a few of the many worthy companies that entered today's pitch. Okay, so now to the audience for the part that you've all been waiting for, our winners. First, the People's Choice Award. This is the winner with the highest rating by the audience. So thank you to all of the audience members who were voting. We had an incredible participation for this event. It was quite the competition. And if we were on TV right now, I think I'd be going to commercial break to leave you all in suspense. But since we don't have to do that here, although if there's any sponsors out there that want to give me a call, I'll take the call. Our 2021 People's Choice winner is, drumroll please, Dance for Healing. Welcome, Amy. Congratulations. What are your thoughts being chosen as the People's Choice? You're on mute, Amy.
Well, so I actually didn't hear your announcement because I was transitioning from the other room, but I guess I'm excited. It's very grateful that, I'm very committed to make a difference, and this make a lot of, I don't even know, I'm like tearing up a little bit because I'm so committed to make a difference for myself, for people like my mom. And you guys are really giving me an opportunity to scale. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Well, it's
doing together.
recognition of the incredible work that you're doing. And obviously it spoke to the audience. So we're not able to all gather together here to do a photo, but why don't we all smile at the webcam quick? We'll get a quick shot of you and the judges. So ready? Cheese. All right. Well, thank you so much to Amy, and thank you for Dance for Healing and for everyone who voted for our People's Choice this year. All right. Now for the 2021 CTA Foundation Pitch Competition, sponsored by AARP Innovation Labs winner. Drum roll, please. All right, Neighbor Force. Congratulations, Paige and Neighbor Force, for being the winner of this year's competition.
Oh, wow. That was unexpected. Yeah, just like Amy said, this is, we're all doing this to solve an issue. And we had a new client call today. I walked in the back office and our neighborhood lead was crying because the lady on the phone was crying because she was so isolated and just could not wait for, a neighbor to come and start helping her. So this is awesome.
Well, congratulations again to you and Neighbor Force. Let's once again get everyone smile at your webcams for our group shot. Cheese. All right. Well, congratulations, Paige and Neighbor Force. Really just thrilled to have you and everyone else who pitched here today.
Awesome.
So thank you to everyone who attended and participated today. Congratulations again to Neighbor Force and Dance for Healing on being the winners and the People's Choice awardees. But let's also give a big round of applause to all of the companies that pitched today. I feel great seeing so many incredible entrepreneurs developing solutions that will improve the world. Thank you to AARP Innovation Labs for their continued sponsorship of these events, and look for their grand pitch finale later this year. Thank you to our judges, Monique, Faye, and Eric, for your insights and consideration throughout this event. And thank you to the team at Establish for running an excellent event for us today. And of course, thank you to you, the audience. Your participation here and your support of the CTA Foundation allows us to continue to advance the technologies that will improve the lives for people of all ages and abilities. For those of you who have not supported us yet, please visit ctafoundation.tech to learn more. And there's also links in that Slido page where you can go directly to our site, as well as AARP Innovation Labs and other partners. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Go create some incredible connections, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.